Hi, I'm Dante Fitzpatrick-Simmons. A nun, a tree, and a soccer ball walk into DePaul. Stay tuned. Somebody gotta show Dante where the garbage is. I've been holding this empty cup for an hour. Anyway, DePaul, this Catholic university here in Chicago, was known as a basketball school. They even made it all the way to the Final Four way back in 1943. And they kept having success throughout the 50s, the 60s, on to the 70s. And that's when DePaul's athletic director had this bright idea to expand the school's sports offerings. So in 1982, they created the first official DePaul University soccer team. And man, let me tell you, this team was a joke. These dudes played 16 games, lost 15, and tied once in motherfucking soccer. That's like Rodney playing soccer. You bad at it. So after that season, DePaul fired the team's head coach, and without wasting any time, hired this guy named Sandor Sabo. Even though his name made him sound like an Italian dude trapped in Game of Thrones, Sandor Sabo was a man with an eye for talent. As soon as he took over the team, he started letting go of old players and started scouting new ones. One day when he was walking and scheming up some new soccer bullshit out of Jonquil Park, Sandor spotted this cat kicking a soccer ball against a tree. The ball kept ricocheting off in different directions, but this dude never let the ball get by him. Sandor was stunned, dumbfounded, stupefied. I like that word. That's from Harry Potter, right? We shouldn't talk about that because the writer. But my guy was even more surprised when he looked over and saw the soccer player was wearing a long black tunic, a black veil, and a white headpiece. That's right, suckers. Sandor Sabo found himself a motherfucking nun. This sister's name was Susan Collicott, and she had been transferred here from Chico, California. Sandor introduced himself and said, I got a itty-bitty, shitty little soccer team that could use your help. Sister Susan juggled the soccer ball with her knees. Her knees, that's some Cirque du Soleil type shit. Kicked it into the air, caught it on one finger like a goddamn basketball, and said, let's get to work. Now, being that DePaul is a Catholic joint, Sister Susan was more than down to help. But when she saw the squad that Sandor had around him, she knew it was gonna take a hell of a lot more than high knees in practice to whip these boys into shape. So one day, Sister Susan went up to Sandor and said, yo, your ass is gonna get fired after one season too if you don't put me in. But Sandor was like, we can't let you play. DePaul doesn't even have a women's soccer team yet. So Susan said, I'm gonna be playing as one of the bros. Wait, you're telling me that Amanda Bynes' movie was based on a true story? She's the man, god damn. I love that movie. Anyway, Sister Susan Collicott convinced Sandor to let her dress up for the first game. And on September 7th, 1983, this sister stepped out as Dusan Kokovic, Eastern European bat. From the second she stepped out onto the field, she ran the other teams down. In the first 5 minutes, Sister Susan dropped 6 goals against these sons of bitches. Sandor was on the sideline fanning himself with his goddamn playbook, just trying to stop himself from having a conniption. By the end, DePaul won 11-0. Guess who scored all 11 points? That's right, stupid, the crazy sister from Chico. After that, DePaul went on a hot streak. Through the first 14 games, they only lost 3 and tied twice. With a nice record of 9-3-2, Sandor started to get a little cocky. He walked around campus like, look at me. Look what I've accomplished. I'm a motherfucking conqueror. But this didn't sit pretty with Sister Susan. After all, she was the reason the team was having any success at all. So Susan confronted Sandor and said, listen, I get the macho man routine, but can you calm it down a bit? And Sandor said, you think this is a macho man routine? Just wait until you're sitting on the bench with me for a few games. And sure enough, the great Dusan Kokovic found himself sitting on the bench for the next game. And guess what? DePaul got their asses beat, 17-1. Sandor was over there biting his nails, but Sister Susan was like, "You did this to yourself, you fucking baboon." That's a good insult. So, he wised up and put the nun back in the very next day. But something wasn't the same for Sister Susan. Somehow Sandor's shenanigans had stolen every ounce of joy she had for the game. The love was gone. Dante's experienced that in many relationships. She only scored 1 goal in that next game. Still enough for DePaul to pull out a win, but not enough to keep the drive alive in Sister Susan. After that game, she tore off her disguise and walked into the sunset. Sandor knew the jig was up. The players he still had around him couldn't kick a tree if it was in front of him. And that's wild, 'cause trees don't go nowhere. That means they can't play. Guess how many games DePaul won after that? That's right, a big old fucking goose egg. The team wound up going 10-8-2. Sandor went on to coach 3 more seasons at DePaul, but he never again had a winning record after that season with Sister Susan. And whatever happened to that crazy ass nun? Well, rumor has it that she ran off to Tennessee and started a little taco chain called Soccer Taco. Every now and then, when you walk past the public park, if you're lucky, you'll see an old woman kicking a ball by herself and running dead sprints. And that's the true history of the Chicago soccer nun. Believe that. Well, since we're on the subject of soccer, Rodney is on the soccer team, and let's just say he is the weakest link. He knows he's bad. He doesn't need anybody else to tell him. Dante really feels bad about this now. And that's crazy, because Dante doesn't feel bad about most things.